G'day preppers. Well, it's certainly been a long time between drinks, that's for sure. I think it's probably 3 years since I last posted to this channel, and I've been busy with my small business e-waste and my actual YouTube channel, e-waste Ben, and I've been meaning to get back to my prepping channel for a long time, and yeah, just haven't had the time and the focus to get into it. So I thought, well, since we've gone through so many interesting times in the last couple of years, it's just been amazing. We're still going through it. There's you know, all the different stuff that's been happening, as well as natural disasters, forest fires and floods and earthquakes and tornadoes and you name it. It's just amazing. And so there's never a time to not be prepping for all kinds of possibilities. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today in this, you know, first up video, yeah, I have to apologize if it's going to be a bit rusty, because it's been a long time that I've even thought or talked about prepping. But is what's happening like currently as far as the economy is concerned all over the world. We've seen countries like Venezuela and so on. You've probably seen and heard a lot about that on YouTube, you know, going into hyperinflation. And, you know, inflation is obviously a normal part of life in these days. And but the scary thing is the possibility of a hyperinflation where things like in Venezuela just can go ballistic, and, you know, where the paper currency can just, you know, it's already losing a lot of value, and, you know, they're just printing more and more. It's just like they're printing it like they print toilet paper, pretty much. That's pretty much how it's going, and they're just fluffing up the economy like that. But, you know, you can't just keep printing money. Everything's got to come to an end some stage. So, yeah, so hopefully we don't get into something like a hyperinflation. But it got me thinking, well, precious metals, gold and silver in particular, how would that, you know, where would that play in a hyperinflation situation? And so completely different to like a normal SHTF situation, a disaster or bugging out or bartering and stuff like that. I mean, in a hyperinflation, sure, there's going to be a lot of bartering and anything that you've basically got of value that someone else needs, you would be able to trade for other things. But you know, the one thing that you probably, you know, won't find useful will be paper money. And so what's another alternative? And so, well, gold and silver is a really good little thing, you know, to have as, like, rather than if you've got some money in the bank or something, a small portion, you know, in my opinion, I try and have a small portion of my money in gold and silver, you know, because if, you know, you might buy this today for 50 cents. But, you know, in a hyperinflation situation, this could go to $1 the next week and $2 the following week and $3. And so your paper money is buying less and less as you go. Whereas usually with gold and silver, as it's happened in other countries with hyperinflation, is that the value of silver will remain the same, and based on international prices. So, for instance, if your dollar is worth, you know, 10% of what it was once, but your silver remains the same value, you can buy 10 times more, or you can get 10 times more the currency, or you can actually trade with silver and gold. And sorry, I'm sort of like a bit wishy-washy. I'll get better as things get along. But I just wanted to sort of like have a starter video just to get the ball rolling, and and you know, hopefully you guys give me some comments and give me your opinions and maybe some ideas on where I should go with my prepping channel, because, you know, since I first started the prepping channel, there's been thousands of prepping channels and really take off, and yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of information, so I don't really want to try and like repeat everything that everyone else is doing, but I just want to, you know, do it my way and speak my mind and take from it what you will. So yeah, well, okay, let's just assume we're in this hyperinflation now. I can't see like silver as a barter item really in a hyperinflation situation, because people are going to want, you know, more real things like, you know, ham or, you know, noodles or pasta or toilet paper or stuff like that, you know, biscuits and things. They're not really going to be going for precious metals, apart from obviously, you know, someone that might have a lot of stock of something. Say, you know, someone might have half a factory full of leg ham. Well, then they're looking for coming out of the inflation, and so they might trade silver. But most likely your silver and gold would be sold to a dealer, because as we know, you know, with a lot of bullion coins and silver in general and gold, there's a lot of fakes out there. So, you know, the average person at a market stall that is selling potatoes is probably not going to accept this, because they're not going to really know whether it's really silver or not. Because if you're not, you know, if you're not really into bullion coins and bars and stuff, how do you know whether this is real silver or it's just been faked? You know, and most people aren't going to have an XRF scanner or you know, precision scales to you know, to see if it weighs exactly what it should be. They're not even going to know. Most people in the world don't really know anything about silver and gold. So your only real trading possibility will be to a bullion dealer, where they're not going to give you any goods. They're just going to give you the value in the currency at the time. And if it's in a hyperinflation, well, they might give you, you know, at the time, this silver coin, say it's worth $25 today. And so hyperinflation comes and whatever the value is, they'll say, okay, well, this is now worth $100 in the current currency. Okay, and so all you're going to get is that $100. And sure, you can go out then and maybe buy other things, but if hyperinflation continues, if you don't spend that $100 today, by tomorrow, you're going to be able to, you might only buy $80 worth of what you could have yesterday for that same $100. So, you know, so a lot of people, and look at what happened in Venezuela. You know, they started their currency, the big chunk blocks of paper currency, you know, just for a weekly wage, and it's like, you know, 500 million of their dollars, which, you know, a month prior was only, you know, they would have gotten $200. That's how inflation went, and so you don't really want to be trading your bullion for cash, and but in small quantities. I think, you know, just to keep you going, to buy your supplies, if you know you can get supplies, well, a little bit of silver is going to certainly give you more buying power than the cash that you might have had in the bank, if it's still there and if you can actually get it. So yeah, that's the only thing with hyperinflation. It's a little bit different to, say, a normal disaster sort of situation, or, you know, where you have to bug out, or you know, just everything shuts down kind of thing, where you might be able to barter a little bit more with your gold and silver, because, you know, there will be people out there that are, yeah, that might have money, and if it's not in a hyperinflation situation, so the money is still valued roughly what it always was, and so therefore, yeah, you can barter with your silver, and yeah, Yeah, so I'm not really sure what I really wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to, just decided I'm going to, start making my prepping YouTube videos again. Yeah, I personally, I really recommend, it's not like investment advice or anything like that, but a small percentage of your money, you might want to put it into precious metals, silver, gold, look, gold is very expensive, and so like I've got these little 1 ounce little buttons. That's about the cheapest bullion style that we can get here in Australia anyway. Just a straight out, no frills, 1 ounce of pure gold button. And then obviously if you're getting into coins and stuff, well, you're paying a higher premium. You might have your carded minted bars. So it's sort of like that's the closest to spot, these little buttons. Then goes the minted bars, and then you're paying more premium for an actual coin, because obviously it's usually limited, and it's they're beautiful little things, so a lot more work goes into them. For the average person, gold is a bit of a luxury. For the average person, going out and buying a silver coin every so often, like when you get paid, you might go out and get a couple of coins and slowly build it up. Don't go out there and rush and spend all the money that you got on bullion. You better to do it over a slow, easy sort of steps, so you can sort of like dollar cost average as well. Whereas today this coin might be $28, and tomorrow it might be 29, but then the following month it might be 27. So that's how you dollar cost average, rather than just buying straight into it. But the types of coins or the types of silver that I recommend, if you're really looking at bugging out, obviously you want your smaller sizes, your 1 ounce coins. That's you can't really go wrong there. But obviously the smaller the size, the larger the premium you're paying above spot price. Now, spot price is not the real price of silver. Spot price is just the paper price of silver that they use to trade and manipulate the whole ordeal. But a good one to get a little bit more bang for your buck is these 1 kilo bars. So in a kilo bar, it's you're saving a lot more. You're getting probably a free ounce or two, rather than buying 31 individual 1 ounce coins. And these kangaroos are your generic type of bullion from the Perth Mint. Obviously you can go, like things like the Kookaburra series, so they got a bit more. They might be like $3 or $4 more than a generic round. And but even though it's an official mint, it's an official sovereign coin, it's it's got $1. It's so it's the real deal. But with Kookaburra, you're paying for the limited mintage and all that, the capsule, and the collectability of it. And prepping for anything, whatever you're prepping for, even just to basically save money, I wouldn't really worry too much about the collectible type coins, unless you want something a little bit different, rather than just the generic type coins. You want to have a little bit of fun. You might get one of each different release that comes out, like it might even be a Krugerrand or something like that, or here the Luna series from the Perth Mint are quite collectible, quite limited. This is a 5 ounce Lunar Ox from this year, and actually the Lunar Tiger is coming out probably next week, so that's going to be pretty exciting for people that do like to collect as well as stack. It's still silver, but you are paying premium. And so, for instance, like this 2021 Kookaburra, it's a 1 kilo Kookaburra coin, so it's well, this isn't the 2021 one, but yeah, so that's the difference. 1 kilo to 1 ounce. So there's 31 point something of 1 ounces in a kilo. And obviously you're paying a premium even though you're buying it in a kilo size. Well, that's huge. And so here's your comparison. So between the two, when it comes to silver and in a prepping situation, point of view, silver is silver at the end, because if it comes to a time when you've got to trade your silver for goods and services and so on, and today no one's going to care whether you've got a 1 kilo worth of kookaburra or just a 1 kilo bar. Silver is silver. If you go to a dealer, I would get the same money for either one of that. Even today, I could go to a bullion dealer and they'll pay me pretty much spot of whatever the paper price of silver is at the time. They'll pay me spot price, whether it's a beautiful minted kookaburra coin or it's just a straight out 1 kilo coin bar. So and the difference between this is the bar would be about $50 cheaper than the coin, maybe even up to $80 cheaper than the coin. So you're still getting the same weight of silver, but obviously the premium comes because it's a coin, it's minted, it's beautiful, it's like a piece of art, it comes in a beautiful capsule. So, but if you're just bugging out, like prepping for SHTF, I'd go generic silver and leave it at that. And same with the your 1 ounce size, just go for generic silver. And you got, even cheaper than the 1 kilo is you got the 100 ounce type bars, and this is an old school perf mint bar. So that's 100 ounces of silver, but obviously this is, if there was a hyperinflation sort of situation, this would be used more to when you come out of a SHTF situation where your silver and gold might be quite valuable, and this, I've obviously got this at the cheapest price, closest to spot. So this is more of for me, it's more of an investment thing rather than a prepping thing. And obviously in the gold, so that's a 1 ounce perf mint bar, gold bar, and that's 1 ounce Valcambi gold bar, but it's a divisible one, so it's it's meant, so it's got 10 1/10 of an ounce pieces. So if this 1 ounce of gold is worth $2,000, say, obviously 10 pieces, $200 worth of gold in each piece. You can break them up. There's a lot on YouTube you can see, because I don't want to break this up, but this kind of thing I don't recommend, because it's just it's kind of gimmicky, but it's a bit of fun. So I got it just for a bit of fun, but you're paying compared to that, you're paying probably a couple $100 more for the privilege. And so at the end of the day, if I took this to a bullion dealer, they would give me the same price as they would this. They would give me the same price as if it was that. So there's a big difference between that and that. So just keep in mind when you're stacking bullion, especially for as a prepper, you're not really, don't get too involved in the collectible sides or the real pretty stuff. Sometimes you want to have a bit of fun, and that's fine. You're prepared to pay $50 extra because you want it in the coin, and you just want to look at the coin, you like the particular design or whatever. Same as like these platypuses from Perth Mint. They're quite nice, and they're the same size in diameter as a 1 ounce, but they're a 2 ounce, and as you can see, they're twice as thick. So so this one here is yeah, they normally come in nice pouches if you want to keep some for your own little collection. But this one's just my, you can almost call it a pocket coin. But these particular ones here, I'm just using them as just straight out generic silver. And every so often, I just like to hold some silver in my hand, and it just feels really nice, you know. I like to play with them and stuff, and just hear the click and all that. Same as the 1 kilo bar. It's a perfect bar to hold in your hand and stuff. But yeah, but anyway, so the idea about this video was talking about hyperinflation. I'm not an economic guru or anything like that. I'm just this, you know, average prepper. And so, but I do see the value in stacking, especially silver, because it's very affordable. You know, you might have a spare $30, go out and get a silver coin and just keep building it up. You know, you might, some people might have a bit of money in the bank, and they might say, okay, well, let's take out 5% of what we've got in the bank and go out and buy some silver, and let's get the most bang for our buck. So you might get a kilo coin bar, and so on. If you want to keep your partner excited and interested in silver, instead of just buying a kilo bar, because they'll look at it and say, oh yeah. But you know, show them that in comparison, they'll say, wow, that's fantastic. And that's how you get partners convinced to get into it. You know, a beautiful 5 ounce is a coin is actually a beautiful size. And but like I said, this is more you're paying premium, so this is more of a, you know, kind of a speculative collectible. You know, obviously I'm hoping never to have to sell these. I've got enough of this kind of thing, and you know, your generic bar to you know, hopefully you know, protect from what's, you know, what could happen. You know, no country in the Western world is immune to a possibility of inflation, and you know, from what I've heard in the last few days, there's a lot of reports coming out that Europe, a lot of Europeans, especially in Germany and places like that, because they've had a history of, you know, inflation. You know, it was probably, it was almost 100 years ago, but they still know the stories. And so a lot of people in Europe and Germany especially are starting to take out their money out of the bank and investing some into gold. And you know, their thing more is gold. They're not, you know, as much into silver as we are in, say, Australia or America or Canada, or even the UK. But and I recommend it for those people that actually have real money in the bank. You know, just, you know, it's just like anything. You want to diversify your money, especially if you think that there is a possibility of inflation, hyperinflation. You want to diversify your money, and you know, I'll get on to, you know, stockpiling and all that sort of thing in future videos. But you know, there's nothing wrong with like his premium ham in a can. Lasts for a very long time. It doesn't even have a use by date, but I recommend when you buy them to put a date on them, just so you know when you actually bought it, to see, make sure, you know, it's there. But things like this in hyperinflation is priceless. And you can, your car might break down, and you can probably offer one of these for a mechanic to come over and fix something on your car or on your house, or your fence or your gate, or your, you know, a leaky roof or something like that. You know, things like this can be, you know, will be, because it's not just the price, the value of these things in a hyperinflation. It's also the unavailability of it, because if prices go up and there's, in, you know, a hyperinflation, the prices just keep jumping up, well, shops can't afford to go out and buy it, because well, they can afford to go out and buy it, but it usually sells before they can go out and buy more. And people are, you know, I've just watched a lot of videos on YouTube about, you know, what's going on in other countries with hyperinflation. In, I think it's Iran and Venezuela and, yeah, a few countries it's not just a matter of having a very low value currency. It's a matter of not actually being able to get what they want. So that's another story anyway. But I just wanted to talk about gold and silver. I hope this video didn't go on too long. I hope I haven't made a fool of myself here. Yeah, I'm just way out of practice. Like I said, I've got my other channel, E-Waste Ben. I'm a scrapper, e-waste recycler, and we have a little bit of fun there processing e-waste and you know, getting copper and stuff like that. Yeah, so I thought, you know, just sort of like dip my toe into the water, back into prepping, and yeah, I've been prepping for 7-8 years, and so I've got a you know, a reasonably well stocked pantry. I want to show you that. I want to show you all the other things that I prep and that I'm interested in. And yeah, anyway, guys, I hope that was a little bit of interest, a little bit of fun. Keep prepping, have fun, and yeah, I'll catch you real soon.